Joining us here in New York City at the NASDAQ are the Calaxy co-founders, Solo Ceesay and Brooklyn Nets starting point guard, Spencer Dinwiddie. Thank you both very much for joining us here in New York City.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's talk prices. Crypto prices recently have been moving higher. For example, Bitcoin recently hit $38,000 after being stuck in a tight range for months. So I'm curious, especially because Spencer, you have been bullish on crypto for years. What do you make of these higher prices? And do you think perhaps this is the start of crypto's next bull run? Your buddy Solo over here recently wrote a piece a few months ago talking about how crypto's next bull run will be like something we've never experienced. Do you agree? And do you think this could potentially be the start of the next bull run?
I think it's the very, very beginning stages. I think we probably have some more months before we see some explosive price action. But everybody's calling for six figures. I've seen people calling for as much as 10x, like 350,000. I don't know if I'm going to go that high, but I think crypto as a whole, Bitcoin specifically, is going to move up dramatically in this next bull run. It's gonna. I actually think all markets are going to have a bull run in the next probably 2-3 years, but crypto is going to be explosive.
We'll see if that comes to fruition. Solo, what do you think are the factors at play? I know you noted that hopes that the Fed's vision for a soft landing coupled with a key technical event called the Bitcoin halving is giving some optimism to investors. You wrote that in your piece that we spoke about a couple of months ago. But what do you think are the factors at play right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we also have to take into account that crypto is still quite depressed from where it was in the last peak of the bull run. And so when you're thinking about all the different types of assets any sort of agnostic investor might buy, the crypto still looks relatively cheap relative to anything else you can buy. Real estate still is trading quite high relative to where it's been. And so are a lot of other markets, so are stocks and internationally as well. And so when you think about all the opportunities that are at the hands of investors, coupled by the fact that there's essentially, the people that are left in the world of crypto truly believe in this space. So any sort of downward pressure is quickly absorbed by the people who are, ready for that next bull market and, talking about that the way that we have. And so it's one of those things where it's a very quite attractive, entry point for people and looking to get exposure to the asset class.
Now, Spencer, you spoke with CNBC back in November of 2021. At the time, you noted that crypto is a new asset class and that it's here to stay, and that people who are thinking about investing in the space should think about it as a long-term investment. Here we are, crypto prices are moving higher once again, but of course, in 2022, we saw a lot of scandals and bankruptcies, most notably the collapse of FTX. We experienced a bear market. Did your stance change during that bear market, or do you still believe this asset class is here to stay and that people should really look at it as a long-term investment?
I believe the asset class is here to stay. Any asset class, anytime there's money involved, there's obviously going to be bad actors. So that's not unique to crypto. And I know that sometimes it's been marketed as such, as black market, or as it's the only asset class with scammers, et cetera. But that's just fundamentally not the case. I mean, we saw the subprime mortgage crisis, right, and things of that nature. I always tell people to do their own research, to be in it for the long haul, just because when you're hoping and praying on a coin to go 100x in days, I mean, it's like buying a lottery ticket, and I can't in good faith recommend anybody to do that. And sometimes it does happen, and sometimes people strike gold, but that's not what I recommend. And again, like I said, Bitcoin though, I think fundamentally is pretty strong. And then obviously if you look at blockchain technology as a whole, which underpins most crypto assets, it's a pretty transformative technology.
And it's quite impressive. Even amid this bear market, Calaxy was able to raise a significant amount of capital, in total $33.5 million from backers, including Polygon and NFL player Ezekiel Elliott. How were you able to do that, and what does that signal to you? Solo, I'll start with you, and then Spencer, I'm curious to get your take as to what that signals to you, the fact that you guys were able to raise all that capital in a bear market.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really speaks to the quality of our team first and foremost. I think we have a great team. It definitely makes it easier getting to play with this guy all the time too, trying to raise money. He's quite articulate. It's a very powerful tool when it comes to speaking to investors. But also I think our journey is quite authentic. Like our journey started a number of years ago. I used to work out here in New York City as an investment banker. Spencer became the first NBA player to securitize himself. I was a securitization banker at the time. And I think our journey predates that fundraising round for quite some time. And I think by leading by example, being early to the conversation and being a disruptor has definitely helped us position ourselves as leaders in that market when it comes to talking about the market opportunity of reinventing the creator economy, but then also making crypto technologies usable. And so I think for us, we greatly benefited from that. I think the timing was also a little better than it was, right now. But I think our vision has been really clear, and I think we've been authentic as a team for quite some time, and that's definitely been felt by our investor community. And we have great backers. Polygon, Ezekiel Elliott, like you mentioned, is a good friend and backer of the project, but also Hedera and the HBAR Foundation have done a great job in supporting the project and getting it into the visible minds of people.
And Spencer, what about you? What does this all signal?
Oh, the fundraising effort specifically, or just
the fundraising efforts, the fact that you were able to raise all that capital amid a bear market?
I think he's being modest. Solo as our CEO, working literally down the street, Wharton Business School grad, extremely sharp individual. There's not many acting CEOs in our space that speak like he does, have the stick-to-itiveness, the go-getter nature. Some of that maybe because he has an athletic background as well, and that then obviously bleeds into the authenticity and how we can kind of both step into both worlds, right? Obviously he's fully in the business community now, but he still is able to have the conversations with athletes, influencers, et cetera. And then obviously me being more on that entertainment side and stepping away from some of the day-to-day business of the project also adds, a certain amount of validity and credibility as well. So I think it's a great management effort between the two of us, but predominantly him, and then obviously our entire team. I mean, they do a phenomenal job. I call our lead designer Chad LeBron all the time. So shout out Chad, because that's the GOAT.
And I understand it has been about 4 years of development and building, and Calaxy officially launched back in August. Can you take our viewers through exactly what to expect from Calaxy, how it works? I understand it's meant to empower the content creator and artists and to allow them to directly interact with their fans. What else can people expect from Calaxy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the easiest way to think about Calaxy is that it's a non-custodial crypto wallet that actually does things. And so what we've used the peer-to-peer network system for primarily to this date, and what we've been known for, is obviously allowing content creators to be able to monetize digital experiences with their fans. So they can offer things like video calls, video messages, exclusive content, NFTs, custom experiences, and more. And that is all accessible via the crypto wallet. That's where they get paid. They get paid out in USDC. Like I mentioned, we're built on Hedera, which obviously allows very fast, easily transfers of value. But also, Calaxy is a non-custodial wallet that allows you to do a lot of different things, like call your friend, or be able to have a social feed and experience tied to that wallet that makes the wallet worth coming back to each and every day.
Now, you mentioned Hedera. When Calaxy launched, Hedera tweeted that social media is going through a revolution, and Calaxy is at the, quote, forefront. Spencer, you actually tweeted when Calaxy launched saying that Calaxy is similar to the social media that we're all accustomed to, but the tools and the opportunities are different. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously some of that goes to the fact that we're built on Hedera, so we can do microtransactions. Also, Hedera, unlike other blockchains, has a predictable fee structure. So, in the rise and crash of a typical crypto market, it's not gonna, mess up your asset value or your ability to interact with fans, with like gas fees, et cetera. And then again, like we built it to look like Web 2, so it was a very familiar product. So it had a very user-friendly interface, and then obviously the underpinning allowed us to do some more special things in terms of transfer of assets, et cetera.
I understand you guys are here today to make a bit of an announcement. A new feature is dropping this week on Calaxy. And I understand that this new feature allows people to essentially send crypto or NFTs like you would a text within the Calaxy app. Solo, can you take us through this new interactive platform and this new feature?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you open up Calaxy, it's a traditional social experience. You'll look to notice that it has a very familiar social layout. Like Spencer mentioned, you'll have your home feed. You'll very easily be able to do things like create a new post or interact with your friends, go through profiles, navigate through your wallet, see all the different types of assets and NFTs that you have. But to discuss our new feature, which will be dropping this Thursday, which will allow you to send crypto without the need for a public key. Essentially what you're able to do is we wanted to an analog sending crypto to the idea of sending a picture or a meme in today's world, right? So currently, if you wanted to send crypto, I need your public key or whatever it is. It's that 40 number, alphanumeric phrase. It's confusing. If you mess up one number, your money's gone forever.
Which is very scary.
Which is very scary.
Yeah.
Extremely.
But for us, we think that sending crypto should be no more difficult than sending a text. And so the two ways in which you might do that are obviously go to the person's conversation, or potentially go to your gallery, click an image, and share it to your friend. And so what I'm actually going to do here is live right now. I'm going to send Spencer 500 USDC. On the Hedera network.
You're a lucky guy, Spencer.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Because
No. You owe me dinner anyway.
For obvious reasons.
You owe me dinner anyway.
He's not an NBA player like you.
But if you go through and you go over to the send crypto portion of the application, you're hit with a slide up panel. You can navigate through all the different assets you have in the wallet. So we plan on supporting a number of different chains. I'm gonna pick USDC here. I'm gonna tap in 500 and I'm gonna send that to Spencer. And as easy as hitting a button like this, you can now see that the USDC has been sent to Spencer and he has probably received it on his end. And so if you go over to the transfer details, you can see all of the stuff.
500 USDC, you're a lucky guy. Can you send me some next?
I guess we're all good.
I'm out. It's gone.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But yeah, that's essentially a feature that we're going to be launching this Thursday, which will allow all different types of users on the platform. As we mentioned before, this is the first non-custodial wallet that legitimately does things. If you ended up going out and getting dinner and wanting to split the bill, now you can actually use crypto to reconcile that transaction in a way that you may never have been able to before. Right now, people use wallets just to hold their money. And so we aim to encourage usage this time around, and that's why this bull market is going to be very different than previous generations.
And it certainly will be interesting to see if that does in fact transpire. You have a section on Calaxy called Featured Experiences. Spencer, can you take us through that in Jumper 101? How did that come about?
Again, it just all came down to like fan interaction, right? So when I was tokenizing my contract and just looking at the marketplace for entertainers and the fan ecosystem and how they want to come closer together, there's a whole bunch of things they want to be a part of, right? So for me, obviously as a basketball player, some kids tell me they want to practice with me or learn how to shoot a jumper or things of that nature. And for featured experiences, we wanted to be able to curtail it to whatever you wanted, right? And whatever the fan wanted and in that market. So that's what that comes down to. I mean, obviously everybody's going to have something different. Like they may want you to give them a hair tutorial or something of that nature, right? They probably
I'm down,
don't.
sign me up.
Yeah, they probably don't want anything to do with my hair, but it is what it is. So that was what it was about, being able to have those bespoke, kind of more custom interactions, and just drawing the fan closer to the content creator.
Now, Calaxy launched in August. It's been a few months now. So how is it going? Is there demand for this product?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been amazing. When we launched, and what we've been mostly known for, again, has a lot to do with that creator monetization tool suite that we've built. That's probably Calaxy's most unique feature. It's a overdeveloped shop experience. Like you mentioned, you could basically productize anything. If you're a celebrity chef, you can offer cooking classes. If you're a personal trainer, personal training sessions, you can offer virtually anything. But I think what was most surprising about our time since we've launched is that there's actually been demand for a lot of these crypto forward features like the sending crypto through DM. And so the idea of Calaxy using a social wallet or a crypto wallet to solve the creator monetization problem, it's applicable across a lot of different verticals within the world. Ultimately, we hope one day that this is the wallet that you log into your DoorDash account to and pay for your food with crypto, right? Essentially, this is a wallet that does a lot of things, and so a lot of the demand side that we've gotten, a lot of the inbound from the different layers, ones that want to integrate with us and support their networks, is that they see this as a tool much greater than just helping people get paid for the content creation, which is obviously very important. But there's been a lot of demand from a lot of different buckets, which was honestly the biggest surprise.
And Spencer, in a nutshell, how does this differ from, say, a Cameo or an Instagram?
Well, again, right, so Cameo, it has a very specific lane. It has no wallet feature, no crypto utility. And shoot, some of the customization that we offer is obviously far more than Cameo. Instagram in itself, you have far less monetization as well. I mean, that's why a lot of people have like Linktree in their bio, because they have to jump you to, 5 different sites to try to gather all of that traction. Obviously, Instagram is a huge tool because of the phenomenal user base it already has, but we have kind of a different lane in that respect.
Now that you guys are here together in the flesh, Solo, I heard it from you remotely, but how did Calaxy come about? Spencer, I understand you went to Solo and asked him for help when you were trying to tokenize your NBA contract. But I'm wondering, how did tokenizing your NBA contract evolve into Calaxy, and why specifically did you reach out to Solo? Was it his impressive background and the fact that, as you astutely noted, he graduated from Wharton and he was working as a securitization investment banker for Citigroup Global Markets? Was that part of the reason?
Oh, 1000%. So if you look at the crypto landscape, you'll hear all the time about like security tokens versus utility tokens, right? Like security versus utility. So getting into securitization is profitable, but it's also difficult. You have to work with the government to, make sure the offering is legal. You have to jump through a bunch of different hoops. You also have to have
I like the pun there.
There you go. And you also have to have something that has enough value to be worth the effort of securitizing, right? So, or securing, sorry. My contract obviously was more than enough to do that, but everybody's not gonna have that, the value basis, right? Like if you're only trying to secure, $1 million, $500,000, it may not be as repeatable of a model. Like you could extract value from it, but the margins become a little bit lower. And so then I also have to now go to high net worth individuals consistently and get them to buy into this kind of more radical concept. Whereas you see like in the utility landscape, in the product suite that we have, it attacks that creator middle class, right? That is really continuously creating content all the time, and it's how they put food on the table. Content creation for me is supplemental in the sense of like personal content creation, right? Like I step on the NBA floor and do my job. So anytime you create a product, you have to be looking at the market and analyzing where it could possibly go. And so throughout that process, we sat down and saw the bigger need. And again, every time Calaxy continues to learn and grow. And that's how we also obviously got to, this amazing wallet that now we can, send crypto like a text message, which there's no product like that in the world, but that all comes from, growing through this process, having that unique, almost one-to-one relationship with a lot of our users because, friends, family, then, personal and business relationships, right? We actually have those conversations with Ezekiel Elliott. We're not just paying him to be on our platform. So we get a different knowledge basis than other people, other programs, other platforms. And that's why I think Calaxy is different. I mean, obviously, again, without his genius, we wouldn't be here. It's real. Without his genius, we wouldn't be here. Wharton business grad, like phenomenal. I couldn't think of anybody better to lead us, but that's why I went to him in the first place, because of his securitization background. And then we've grown together over the last 5 years.
Tokenizing your NBA contract, you initially tried to do that 2019, 2020. An innovative concept at the time. You did receive some backlash from the NBA.
I did.
In hindsight, given the fact that you got that backlash and the fact that COVID hit a few months later, and obviously nobody could forecast that, and pro sports were pretty much put on pause.
Yeah.
Any regrets looking back, or do you still think that was the right move for the time?
I wouldn't change it for the world. I think I'm fortunate enough to work for the best sports league in the world. You know, and obviously we had respectful discourse. We disagreed at the time, but we've seen that, you know, now the NBA has been at the forefront of adopting crypto in some forms and fashion. So, and doing NFT and different projects and things. So, you know, the NBA is phenomenal. And that experience, like I said, it not only, you know, taught me a lot about securitization, it also led to the utility aspects, and now obviously the larger wallet aspects that we're at now. And so without that, like I said, respectful discourse between the league and Solo being by my side, we wouldn't be here today. And we have a platform that, like you said, raised $33 million, and we're about to hit probably a bull market in the next year, 18 months, primed in position to, you know, hopefully hit 10 figures and exit.
That's the goal.
Well, that would be amazing.
That's
that would
the
be
plan.
something to see. Do you plan on tokenizing future contracts with the NBA?
I could see that being something down the road, but again, that's probably 5 to 10 years off. That's probably a retirement type of endeavor where, like I said, Calaxy exits for $1 billion. I go back to the league and I say, hey, like, you know, remember when I tried to do that 10 years ago? We need to revisit that as business partners. And, you know, I think after this bull run, they might be a little bit more receptive to maybe having a joint task force on tokenizing NBA contracts, since all this sports gambling and FanDuel going on right now.
Clearly, you're bullish on crypto. Did you ever think about getting part of your salary or all of your salary in crypto?
I mean, I think sometimes, to be honest, when people have headlines like that, it's for the headline, because I very well can just buy crypto when, like, they send me the deposit, and I can just, you know, invest in it myself, which I do. So sometimes people are doing that for the headline of it, or it's an endorsement deal or something of that nature, and you know, more power to them. But I'm an active investor. I mean, you know, I'm trying to get some more Bitcoin as we speak. You know, get prepared.
Now, Solo, I heard you say that in the beginning, Spencer taught you everything you knew about crypto. Who would you say is in the lead now? Who knows more about crypto at this point in time?
I think it honestly depends on like what.
Don't be modest.
Like, nah, he definitely brought me into the ecosystem a long time ago. I mean, for me to hear that the entire financial system was ruined and broken only a hot 6 months after I finished school and had a Wharton degree, I was not having that. So I definitely let that go for a minute. But no, I mean, I think in terms of like the OG status, like, I mean, he was in the asset class when no one wanted to be in it. So like, he definitely put a lot of, he fell on a lot of swords for all of us to be able to do what we're doing right now. So, you know, I sit in it every day. It's my job to know it. So I would have to nod myself. But he is obviously probably one of the most articulate people in the space, especially when it comes at the intersection of sports and crypto, to be honest.
He's being modest.
You guys obviously have a lot of love for each other. You make great business partners, I can tell from as an outsider, I will say. But obviously we're sitting here at the NASDAQ. The tech-heavy NASDAQ, of course, is a major stock index. So I have to ask, any plans to go public one day?
Oh man, I would love to go public one day.
I see you haven't discussed this yet.
I mean, there's just a lot of ways to think about it. The crypto ecosystem is evolving so rapidly, and there's so much collaboration in the space. There are several ways to find exit liquidity, and also, you know, find ways to actually, you know, partner with different people building other platforms. And so whether that's a strategic takeover or a strategic acquisition or whatever it might be, there are a lot of different pathways for a wallet. But we do think that there is going to be you know, demand for a product like this. Crypto right now is an asset class with trillions of dollars locked into it. Hopefully trillions of dollars more come into the asset class over the next 18 months or so. And right now we've built something that makes it really easy for anybody to interact with the chain and move assets, solving a really big usability concern for the entire industry. And so maybe it's an IPO, maybe it's an acquisition, who knows, but our job is to obviously get the word out and do our best to push the asset class forward.
And what can people expect of Calaxy in the future? I know you mentioned that right now you're on Hedera, but you also mentioned when I spoke with you last time in September that you're looking to expand to other networks. Are you able to disclose what networks those are, and what else can people expect from Calaxy?
We actually will be putting some stuff on our website that will make it quite publicly visible to everyone that follows the project to see our updates, a public roadmap of when we expect to integrate different chains. You know, we're close partners with a lot of different layer ones already at this point, just given that they've you know, contributed to the project. I know you're good friends with the Flow ecosystem, the Dapper guys as well, and Roham and team, and so you know, looking to find ways to add more support and really just give this functionality, you know, access to anybody that wants to be able to do things with crypto assets, not just people who you know, are in Hedera, but the entirety of Web3 needs a wallet that does things, and so our job is to try and capture as much of it as possible.
And I think some of that utility is like weeks away, not months and years away. So, you know, the cross-chain utility is coming, so stay tuned.
Absolutely.
We will be looking out for that. And as we approach the end of the year, I'm wondering, Spencer, what is your 2024 outlook for crypto, blockchain technology, and Web3 in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, I mean, I think everybody's going to be waiting on the halving, and then we're going to see where it goes from there. Again, like I said, I think 6 figures is easily within reach for Bitcoin, and obviously that drives the market at the moment. How high it goes, I don't know, but everybody's going to be kind of getting ready for the halving, and then usually about a year or so after the halving, we see the absolute peak. So you know, stay tuned, pack your bags, stay tuned.
Pack your bags. Speaking to our basketball fans who are watching, I gotta ask, what can people expect from the Brooklyn Nets and from you this season? I know the season just kicked off. You had a big win last night. 5 wins so far this season, and it just started. So what can people expect?
The Brooklyn Nets are in an interesting spot right now. I mean, obviously, we just had 2 max players trade away, but we've got a phenomenal group of guys that play hard, are super committed to the craft, and go out there every night and give their all out on the floor. So I think that's something to be excited about if you're a fan. Obviously, we're pushing to try to make the playoffs, which we think is a very realistic goal. And then to be some disruptors, much like crypto when we get into the playoffs. So that's the goal. And then for me, I think it's you know, I have a lot of different roles. I've been a lot of different guys in my career, from, you know, primary 20-point a game scorer, take a team to the playoffs, to spot up shooter, to, you know, Robin, to Luka's Batman, 6th man of the year type of candidate back when I was with the Nets the first time with D'Lo. So really it's a situation where as injuries happen, as different things go on, I just have to be able to step into a variety of different roles and, you know, be very comfortable and able to do that. So that's my personal outlook.
And good luck to you in crypto and with the NBA. Spencer Dinwiddie, starting point guard with the Brooklyn Nets, and Solo Ceesay, both co-founders of Calaxy. Thank you both very much for joining us right here in New York City from the NASDAQ.
Thank you.
Thank you.